And welcome back, everybody. I am Becky Harris alongside my co-host Adam Harris. We are here for round 2 FPO coverage of the 2019 Stafford Open. What great first round coverage we had watching the ladies. And we are here on a beautiful day at the 2019 Stafford Open driven by Innova Champion Dis. It's a PDGA A-tier event here in Voorhees, New Jersey. And Adam, who are we looking at today for round 2?
Round 2, we have Lisa Fajkus at 5 down, Sarah Hokom at 4 down, Holly Finley at 3 down, and Kona Panis at 1 over. All putting up very strong rounds in round 1. And we'll be heading to the overall leaderboard has Missy Gannon and Maris Perendi and Michelle Fraser all tied at 2 over, Vanessa Van Dyken at 3, Becky Harris beside me at 5 over.
And then we round out Margaret Sassaman with 8 over. And we have here hole 1, 309-foot par 3. Pretty dead straight drive you want to have. As you could tell via the footage, there are quite a number of trees that you kind of have to get around, but definitely a doable hole. And we have Lisa Fajkus here, sponsored by Team Innova with her drive, and just hits a tree in the fairway and goes by the laurels.
Here we have Sarah Hokom setting up her standard forehand. And
Sarah's sponsored by Team MVP. And Sarah's pretty much a straight forehand thrower. Probably say 95% of the time. And we have Holly Finley here, sponsored by Team Innova, who we did see on the first round coverage. Hit a tree right in the fairway. However, she landed right dead center.
We've got Kona, also an Innova team member. Same tree that Holly hit. She kicked into the left rough, though.
Yeah, but as you can tell by that tree, Adam, they are not the first ones to hit it. Oh, looks like Holly released that a little bit early.
And we've got Kona in the left rough. Don't think she made it all the way out of there. Holly's on the left side. Looks like she's got a righty hyzer that also hits another tree early.
And Holly again. All right, gets it up there.
That should skip up and leave her a decent putt in.
With the star lion. All right, we have Lisa, who is behind a little bit of the laurels, and she's going to have to step out a little bit for a forehand and really just trying to get it back in the fairway to have an easy upshot towards the basket. And Kona's probably trying to do the same thing, right, Adam?
Looked like a pitch out. And we've got Sarah Hokom, forehand, also on the left side, so she's going to be throwing a turnover. Took a little bit of that branch off of it. Looks like she's going to be about circle's edge.
Yeah, what a beautiful day here we had, too, in the woods.
It was a very good weekend. Weather was really in good shape. A little windy, which we'll see as we get out to the field holes.
Kona with a forehand upshot. Should have a nice easy putt from there.
Sarah straddling the circle.
Sarah has a very methodic putting style. It works well for her. And, Holly kind of has the same thing. They line up the same every time. It's good routine. It's good practice. It's good muscle memory to have.
I would agree. Strong routine in putting leads to repetitive success. Muscle memory is a big key. Here we've got Lisa lining hers up. She's in for the bogey.
Looks like Kona's up next. Kind of just going around the horn. Get their putts in. And these are chain stars?
Yes.
Yeah, chain stars that we're putting. Some people like them, some people don't. I don't mind them.
Sarah's in for her bogey. And we've got Holly tapping out as well.
We have a lot of golf left here on the front nine.
On the second hole, we have a 509-foot par 4 which goes down the left side, and then slight turn right there is the drone and turns back over the large log and stump before it turns abruptly to the right as you finish on the last 100 feet. Very clean lane. If you can throw a soft righty turnover, it can put you in a very good position.
Lisa with her first shot. She maybe wanted a little bit more turnover on that, but it's still a nice, great smooth shot.
She's got a lot of distance on that. She's on the left edge. Mm-hmm. Sarah lining up her forehand.
Great shot that she had. It stood up just a little bit, and it'll hyzer her out nice in the four-way. The thing is, when you're throwing lefty or righty forehand, you really want to have that gentle fade to make sure it doesn't fade or skip off onto the right side of the fairway.
This Kona's also going forehand. Caught a little bit of a branch, and that looked like that was going to finish in the fairway, but again, if it fades, it's going to go a little bit right. Holly's throwing her turnover. Wow, right through that tree. That's going to be in a great spot. Mm-hmm. I've hit that gap between the double tree, and that is dead middle of the fairway.
I love Kona's style because she has a wide variety of shots between the forehand and the backhand, and she really has good execution with them, to how to control the disc well and when to really, give it some juice. And we have Hokom lining up here for her second shot, forehand. Oh, just hits the tree.
Back into the right rough. We'll see what she has from there in a minute. And it looks like Lisa is underneath the mountain laurel. Going to have a tough out here.
She was able to get over that log.
That's a very well executed shot from a tough position. Mm-hmm. Low ceiling. Getting over that log, leaving herself for up and down for par. Holly throwing the turnover off the tree. She's in the right.
Yeah, that right rough can be a little tricky. It can be thick in there, and with the large trees too, you really have to pick which way you're going to choose to get up the basket. But with Kona, it should be a nice, easy forehand shot, just like that. And she left herself, just inside circle's edge for a putt.
Well executed forehand there.
Hokom really gets down low with her forehands, but she lines it up so nicely, as you could tell with, her left hand.
That's going to be a great shot.
Wow.
Where she was at, she had to play that up high over the low branches that are on that side. That is a fantastic line in.
Mm-hmm. And as you can see, Holly being on the right side of that fairway, it's a low-lying shot, and you have to make sure you get out well, which she did, and she should have a nice, easy putt from there. Same thing, Lisa, she's a little bit too far out to probably make that run for the putt, so she laid up.
Making the smart play there.
Mm-hmm.
Kona bouncing off front rim.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing the hole for a bogey.
Still a good score on this hole, because you can really get into some trouble if you're kind of going back and forth on the left and the right side of the fairway.
Holly in for her par.
Nice to see. So we have 3 pars and a bogey on this hole. Lisa just tapping in.
There's some very good up and downs on that hole.
Yeah. And we're coming up here to hole 3, a 313-foot par 3. This is the first of our 2 pond shots. You really want to kind of get over that mound where the short tee is, get over the water, over this little second mound here, and then right here where the basket is. In this drone footage, you will see the basket's down low, but it did remain up high for the remainder of the tournament. And we have Lisa's drive, which gets her right over the pond.
That's in a great position. That's going to be right under the log, right at circle's edge.
Yeah, it's kind of a standard righty shot, just to kind of just let it go a little straight and then hyzer out at the end. It's a nice, safe shot. With Hokom with the forehand, she's really going to kind of want to stand this up and even turn it over just a little bit like she's doing now and make sure it fades back towards the basket.
Which that's an excellent shot.
Yeah, going for that ace run.
Very well played shot. Mm-hmm. And then you can see the wind and the leaves in the background.
Yeah, there's almost always a right to left wind on this hole or a headwind. So it's one of those things where you have to have your disc selection chosen wisely.
You can see Holly's right next to Lisa. Kona's playing the same righty hyzer. The wind's going to push all three of those off to the left side. Every right-hand backhand there, the wind pushed them off just a little left. They're all right about circle's edge, putting into a headwind on the elevated basket.
It's almost sometimes better to be a little bit further away from an elevated basket to give yourself a better shot at it. And Holly does go for it. Missed just a little bit to the left. And we have Lisa lining up for her putt. Oh,
she definitely went for it. Nice aggressive play.
Yeah, and you can see by the leaves blowing, there was definitely some wind there too. And
good putt, Kona.
Great, yep, great putt.
Good birdie. Really good birdie there.
Nice focus. Holly lining up for a comeback putt. Good execution.
That's how you execute. Go for the birdie, make the par. Give yourself a chance for the two. I like it. Mm-hmm. Lisa made the same play.
So with 3 Innova-sponsored girls on this, do you think, they're talking about their shots?
Lisa, I would think they've played a few rounds together, practice and in competition alike.
Right.
That can't hurt.
I know.
It can't hurt having a little camaraderie.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like that these ladies are going to, putt out on this hole. Coming up next, we are going to take a quick short break to give a quick shout out to our lovely sponsors. And I also want to give a quick shout out too to Gatekeeper Media, who did this amazing footage and came all the way out and, did the footage for the Stafford Open. We thank you. And Hokom with her birdie.
That was a great play she made on that drive.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this commercial.
Welcome back to our commercial break. That was a quick commercial from Innova, who was our sponsor for the 2019 Stafford Open. This is hole 4, a 558-foot par 4. This is a great hole. It's really 2 big righty hyzers to kind of get you into this wooded, protected green. It's definitely a birdieable hole, would you say, Adam?
It's there for the birdie. It's also can be bogeyed because you have to make this drive and you have to get through the initial woods out into the field. Looks like Sarah played it very well. She should have a good high line into the basket.
Kona had a nice straight shot, probably a little low, but she still got out there and left herself a nice second shot.
Holly played that very nicely. She got a little height on that one. She put it up there, so she's got probably a very similar shot into the basket.
Lisa got a little bit higher. And a really nice hyzer shot. That's really all you need on the drive.
That's well played.
I think you do need 2 good shots here, but this hole is really about executing the second shot well. And as you can see, based on the way the grass is going, Sarah has a little bit of a tailwind with her second shot here. But with that distance that she always has, she left herself a nice putt. Probably inside the circle, you'd say?
Yeah, she's about 20 feet for the birdie. That's a great shot.
Mm-hmm. Kona with another great upshot.
She looks like she's right in the lane. Set up about circle's edge for birdie, maybe.
And as you can tell, it kind of goes uphill just slightly and then will flatten out as you kind of get into this green area.
Holly also made a great upshot, hit the same lane. Lisa looks like she's going to power that nice and low. That should get a good skip in towards the basket. Mm-hmm. Very, very well played.
Yeah. Sometimes higher isn't always better. And we have Kona lining up for her putt, for her birdie. Just a bit outside. And as you could tell, the wind is howling pretty good here.
Holly, looks like chain's right. I'm sure tailwind, she was expecting that to hyzer her a little bit. It was a tricky wind weekend, that's for certain. Lisa, banging the headwind putt.
For the birdie.
That's a really well executed hole. Hokom putting for her birdie.
Yeah, she had a great drive and a great second shot. I find this hole's a little bit more righty friendly, but even with her forehand, she can get there.
Look at the leaves moving in the background. That's a good putt in the wind.
Good birdie by Hokom.
All weekend long, I was very impressed by the way the ladies played this course. They attacked it, and they played intelligently. The wind can affect you a lot, and this is a very risk-reward type course. And the ladies the entire field finished fantastic. There's Kona finishing in for her bogey, and I believe Holly's tapping in for her par.
Sarah and Lisa each got birdies on this hole, which was a great job. And we're up to hole 5, a 564-foot par 4. This lane is actually a new lane this year. Hole 5 was originally a 390-foot par 3, but they extended it to the left side here to make it a longer par 4 with OB on both sides. The fairway actually slopes slightly down to the left, so, for a lefty or a forehand player, you almost kind of want to get it out over the OB. But Sarah was able to get that shot right in the fairway. This hole definitely has some wind that is factored in.
Wow, Lisa really got on that drive. And it's
just
out
OB.
of bounds.
Luckily, the spotter will know where it is. Holly lining up. It looks like a destroyer she has in her hand. She usually throws bosses, but that one looks like a destroyer, which could be better for a headwind. She lands nice, easy in the fairway.
Safe and inbounds.
Two, again, just like hole 4, 2 really good shots on this hole can set yourself up for a birdie.
Looks like Kona might have held on to that one a little bit. She's going to be out of bounds early.
And on this hole, you play where the shot was last in bounds.
That one looks like it's going to finish left edge and stays in.
Sarah lining up for her second shot. This is actually a good forehand second shot for a righty because of the way that the basket kind of fades to the right a little bit. She did keep it low, which is good. It goes just past the basket, but as you can see, there is OB that does surround the basket behind, but she did manage to stay in bounds.
The OB on this hole is about 40 feet outside of the basket, so it's outside of circle 1, but it's not that far. We've got Holly lining up, and she's going right at it. Finishes just a little short, just outside of the circle.
It was really nice to have the circles at the tournament because it really does allow you the distance. Whether you are putting or you're lining up for your shot to make it towards the basket, it's a good kind of distance marker.
Lisa playing it in for the forehand, and that's a very well executed shot. That's where the hole calls for the shot, and she made the shot forehand instead of backhand because that lane is a little more open. On the right side, there's a little trees protecting it, and the left side's a little more open, just the opposite of the previous hole. Kona with an excellent forehand approach, leaving herself a good putt.
Yeah, we got the ladies surrounding the basket. And we have Holly up first. She's probably got about 40-footer. Oh, I just missed it. Again, it's usually a headwind coming in from behind her. Sarah lining up for a straddle putt. Just misses.
Just a little low. Straddling Annie around that little tree can be tough. Kona making her putt. In for the bogey.
Great recovery after that out of bounds.
Definitely. She was out early and kept it to only a bogey.
Looks like Holly's got a little bit of laurels in the way. She's going to have to...
I believe Holly's under Holly.
I'm sure that's not the first time she's heard that. Oh, man.
Right out the back. That was a really good-looking putt. Went right out the back. Doesn't happen very often.
That was not her. That was the basket.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's where I tell people you did your job and the basket didn't.
And Lisa for a nice easy putt for her par.
And for her par.
Yeah, looks like we have the other two ladies tapping in. I like the changes on this hole. You know, the 390-foot hole, it's almost a birdie you need for an MPO player, but a 390-foot hole for an FPO player, you have to have the distance to be able to get the birdie. So I feel like the changes on that hole was very good.
They played well for the field overall. We're on to hole 6 now, which is a 571-foot par 4. OB all the way down the right-hand side into a very well-protected green that is better allowed access up the left edge where the drone's coming in right now. And the green's surrounded by railroad tie to keep the sand from eroding away. There is also OB behind the basket. Hokom lining up her forehand. Playing the nice low S shot. That's a really well-placed, really well-shaped shot. Should really set her up well for a good look into the basket.
And up next here, we have Lisa Fajkus. Nice shot. So she decided to kind of, take it out to the right a little bit for it to have a good, easy fade to the left. And she executed that well because of the fact that she avoided the left side trees to going into the left side trees. If you do, it leaves you a little bit more of a trickier second shot.
Holly's playing the low, flat shot. That's also just going to be left edge. And a lot of the locals prefer to be on the left side, closer to the left edge, as long as you don't get into those trees. It's really about the placement on this hole. It looks like it's about the power when you stand on the tee. Looks like Kona went in just a little bit. She's going to have one of those gaps between those large trees to get out of.
So Holly kind of has the slightly low ceiling based on the branches that come out of the trees, but still a good shot to line up to be able to make it up towards the basket.
Just took that central tree on the right edge.
Looks like Kona's maybe lining up for a forehand roller.
Little roller.
Which is a good shot on this hole because it's a flat, open area and there's really nothing obstructing, the roller ability to get up there.
Smart play, too. Keeps out of bounds out of play.
And Hokom lining up for her second shot, a forehand shot.
It looks like that took that last tree. She's going to be just outside of the circle looking up at the basket. Lisa playing the low line in, playing the rebound off the backstop.
Yeah, that's really the best way to do it. If you can land on one of those tiered levels or just at the bottom, you set yourself up so well for an easy putt.
A little high on that forehand, hyzered off a little bit early.
Holly has to step out a little bit, just around the tree. But still has a nice, easy up shot. And she landed, she almost landed on that first tier, but she still have an easy look at a putt. Kona from just outside the circle, she ran it.
And that's a tough putt, because that's usually into the headwind. Sarah's going to have left to right crosswind on this putt.
Yeah. I mean, you can see how uphill the basket is.
Well played.
Trying to make it, yep.
Well played.
If you land anywhere on that, that flat area right there, you have a nice, easy tap in.
Holly, left side.
Now Lisa's looking up. Usually right there's a headwind that comes from behind her, so, she might have to line this up a little bit lower.
This is one of those tricky ones because where you're standing, you can't feel it. Your disc clears the edge of the basket. That's a great putt.
Yeah, that was a good birdie for Lisa.
Experience showed in that one because you can't feel the headwind, but you know it's there. Good putt from Kona.
Yeah, and it looks like the other two ladies are going to have some nice, easy tap outs. And, we want to thank Innova Disc Golf as our sponsor. We want to thank Gatekeeper Media for the coverage. And after these tap outs, we will have a quick commercial break from our sponsor, and we'll come right back to the 2019 Stafford Open for hole 7.
And welcome back. We're on the 7th hole, the second pond shot at Stafford Woods. It's a 300-foot par 3 that is just over the pond. And this one is in A pin.
In this hole, the goal is to get through those goalposted trees and get yourself over the pond. It's anywhere from like a 260 to 280 foot shot over the pond. It really depends on how high or low the water is. So, you really want to be confident with your disc selection.
Here we've got Sarah throwing the forehand. It looks like that's going to go around behind those trees. Oh, it hits the tree. Is it wet? Oh, that's a tough break.
Yeah. And here's Holly with her drive. Hole 7. Last round she laid up, but this round she's going for it.
She
did make it over.
She put it over the pond, over by the stairs that lead down off the access road around the pond. So she'll have an easier layup for her 3 from there. Kona putting a turnover in. That's going to go right towards the basket. That's a really well-played shot.
Great shot by Kona. 4 really good drives. Unfortunate that, Sarah's hit the tree and went in the water. So when it does go in the water, you play from the drop zone here. And then any other subsequent shot after that, you take it where, it lies. But she had a nice, easy upshot, which she should be able to have a tap in for a bogey.
Interesting to see Holly play this 2 different ways in back-to-back days.
Lisa has a slight long putt.
Making a good run at the birdie there. And Kona's got one of my most favorite putts on this course. She's got a putt probably right between the 2 trees and the Y in them and makes the beautiful birdie putt. It's a side hill stance putting between 2 trees.
Great putt by Kona.
Well executed.
Man, these ladies are playing so well. They're so consistent. They play within their game.
They're playing smart golf, which is a lot of what this course requires. It's really, really fun to watch. Sarah's tapping in. Bogey after getting a tough break off the tree on the tee. Holly's tapping in for her par.
Sometimes people say safe golf can be boring golf, but not always.
I don't feel that way. I mean, I grew up on a golf course and played golf, and it's smart golf. It's how you score. Birdie where you can, par where you can't.
Yeah, it kind of keeps you out of trouble a little bit.
Looking at the scores the ladies put up, they're doing excellent.
Yeah.
Here we are on to hole 8, which is a 354-foot par 4, which goes down about 200 feet and then turns very hard left on a dog leg into another very narrow lane. And the green is tucked into the left a little bit behind this clump of trees and this large tree. So even though it's short, it's a very touchy hole. And here we have Kona lining up her drive.
And unfortunately, she hit a tree. But this is one of those holes, too, where, you can decide whether or not you want to throw a mid-range or a driver off the tee, because both can work in this scenario. For me, I throw a mid-range off the tee. But what do you throw, Adam?
As a backhand lefty, I'm throwing a slight turnover on a rock. And we've got Lisa lining up. And she knew it right away. That was out early, a little bit to the right. Holly looks like she's put that right down the middle. That's probably going to finish and skip a little bit to the left around the corner. That's a very well played shot.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you want to do on this hole. Just get yourself around the corner and set yourself up for a second shot to be able to get the potential birdie.
Sarah with the forehand. And this is a really tough shot for a forehand or a lefty. Where she's going inside gap. If that makes it through, it can really go a long way, but it's really not the recommended route. A little bit too much on that one, I would imagine. We've got Kona lining up her second shot.
What a nice shot.
That's a great recovery.
Yeah.
Early shot, and she made a very smooth throw to keep it in the fairway and give her a chance to go up and down for the par still.
Yeah, she had a very interesting, tough stance, too, with that. And Lisa with a forehand, she just lined that up and through.
That's another shot that you just got to put up there and play for fairway.
Mm-hmm.
If this skips in, she's going to set herself up for a nice par. That's what we were just talking about. That's a golf hole. Mm-hmm. Tough drive, and then a smart out and a good upshot for her par. That's a really well-played golf hole. Sarah coming in the forehand. Looks like she's going backdoor over the stump right to the basket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this hole you have to have two good shots. There's very little margin for error on this hole. And Kona, she did the skip. She probably wanted a little bit more distance than that, but it'll leave her an outside the circle putt.
Holly should have a hyzer putt in here around the right side of those trees. And she executes beautifully. Mm-hmm. Beautiful hole.
Yeah, a nice 5-footer for her.
Kona's just outside the circle. Looks like she's got to set up for a straddle putt to get around one of the trees.
This course, even if you're not a straddle putter, this type of course is going to require you to have a straddle putt at some point.
I feel that way about a lot of the East Coast wooded courses.
Yeah.
It's part of the game you got to bring out here with you.
Yeah.
Kona finishing out. In for the 5. Looks like the rest of the ladies are fairly close. Sarah's got that awkward stance at the bottom of the tree stump.
Mm-hmm. But made it in for a nice, easy birdie. That's how you play the hole.
Very well executed. That's impressive. As a forehander or a lefty, this hole can be tricky. It goes left really hard and then finishes left around. Mm-hmm. Holly also in for her birdie.
So after hole 8, we had 2 birdies from Sarah Hokom and Holly Finley, par from Lisa Fajkus, and a bogey from Kona. And we are moving on to hole 9, the last hole. On the front 9 here, we have a par 3, 301-foot hole. Probably, I would say, the tightest hole on the course. You thought hole 8 was tight. Hole 9 is a whole new ball game. You really have to pick your line, you're going to throw, and you're going to have to execute it well.
Looks like Holly was a little right, and she seemed to know it. Pretty much out of her hand. Mm-hmm. Sarah's lining up her traditional forehand.
Sends it up kind of high.
If that makes it through, it's going to finish on the right side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this hole's a hard hole because you don't want to throw it too low because you want to get the distance, but you don't want to throw it too high because you have the branches and the leaves up there. Lisa probably let it go at the perfect angle, but unfortunately it hit a tree and kicked left. Now, Kona right there,
that's the shot.
Is the shot.
That's the shot.
Yes.
That's going to be right on it. Wow.
What a beautiful shot by Kona Panis. And this is a tough righty hole. It really, really is. And, as you can see here, Lisa is behind the short tee. But, there is a straight line right there, which she did go through, unfortunately hit a tree.
Holly also hit early, and she's going to have the upshot up the right line. And she's going to leave herself a decent putt there.
Mm-hmm. And Sarah having to, have a low-lying shot and is going to have to straddle out behind the tree, too, to get the line that she wants.
Very well executed.
Yeah, don't hit your head.
Tough side straddle. Put it 2 feet.
Ooh,
Lisa making a nice run there from pretty far out. Let's see what Kona can do after that almost ace run. I went for it too.
Bug in the eye or the ear. Relining. Made her putt.
Very, very strong refocus. Looks like Kona's going to finish the front 9 at 6 over overall.
Does Holly have another Holly in her way?
She might. She might.
Probably got about a 15-footer.
And Holly's finishing up the front 9, and overall she is 1 over.
Lisa and Sarah should have pretty easy tap-ins here. You know, what great coverage we had on round 2, this front 9 here. You know, it was great to see how some of these ladies executed their shots. Sarah shooting great is a 5 down overall. So after the front 9, Sarah Hokom 5 down, Lisa Fajkus 4 down, Holly Finley +1, and Kona Panis +6. You know, great coverage here we have at the Stafford Open. You know, I really look forward to seeing what these ladies can do on the back 9. There's some much harder holes on there. And also that birdie alley, we got 12, 13, 14, but looking forward to it.
Back 9's coming up. See you soon.
Thank you.